Phil Russo is officially smoked. Unique just made the biggest move of his life. And Kanan is one conversation away from a truth that could change everything. Y'all, this episode was a setup episode, but do not let that fool you, because everything that happened in these 40 minutes is about to blow the whole season wide open. So sit back, because we are breaking down every detail from Power Book 3, Raising Kanan Season 5 Episode 2. This episode is titled Mini Man, and it starts with your boy Unique going to see Parissa. Parissa is begging him to stay with her and Jerome. She does not want him going back to the south side. But Unique is stubborn. He tells her straight up he is gonna die on the south side, that going back is just what he has to do, plain and simple. Parissa is not having it. She tells him he can be whatever he wants to be, he does not have to keep living this life. And even though Unique is talking tough, her words are sitting in his head. Now let's talk about Phil Russo, because this man's time was up the second they started showing more of his family on screen. You'll already know how this works. Once they give a character extra screen time with their loved ones, that is basically a death sentence in this universe. Carmine set him up. Phil Russo had that look on his face the whole time, like deep down he already knew he was being walked to his own funeral. I will say this, Phil Russo got way more time than Lulu did, a whole conversation, a car ride, some dialogue. Lulu did not get none of that. But it did not matter, Phil Russo still got his ass smoked. We are officially done with that Phil Russo pack. They up out of here.
Stefano was thrilled when he found out Phil Russo was gone. But here's the thing, Rock still wants to keep doing business with the man's old connections. Even with everything that has gone down, even with Marvin messing things up in the past, Rock is telling Stefano they have made money together before and they can keep doing it. Stefano shuts that down immediately. He tells her it is over, that he has people in Queens ready to take her out if she even thinks about moving work over there. Just like that, the relationship between Rock and Stefano is finished. He is officially an enemy now, and he tells her to find somewhere else to operate, which means Rock's next move is heading straight into Manhattan. And we are about to see if Stefano lets that slide. Now let's get into Kanan because law enforcement runs up on him, puts guns on him and arrests him right at his apartment. We already know exactly what this is. This is Rock pulling strings with Officer Buckley, the cop she has had in her pocket this whole time. Kanan understands the game. He tells them straight up he knows this is his mom's doing. They tell him to go back to school, get his education, stop moving weight because if they catch him slipping again they are gonna break his legs. Then Kanan says something that catches everybody off guard. He says, I know y'all killed my best friend Famous. The cops look at him like he is out of his mind. Kanan is convinced his mom set this whole thing up, but the cops make it clear she set up his arrest, yes, but she had nothing to do with Famous getting killed. After that conversation you can see it on Kanan's face, that confusion creeping in like wait, maybe she really did not do it. And listen, she did not do it. Snaps and pops got inside his head. Yeah, his mom has connections with law enforcement. But guess who else has connections with law enforcement? Snaps and Pops. We saw that last season. Maybe Kanan needs to be looking in a totally different direction instead of pointing fingers at his own mother. Honestly, if Rock really had something to do with it, she probably would have just told him straight up, the same way she told him what she did to Dwiz. If she had really taken out Famous or even Crystal, she would not be hiding that from her own son. Especially after what he did to Lulu, pulling a gun on her. So the real question is, how long is it going to take Kanan to figure out the truth? And once he does, you already know more bodies are about to hit the ground. Rock fills Marvin in on what went down with Stefano, how they cannot move weight in Queens anymore. She brings up the Afghans, reminding him they do not play games. Her plan now is simple, head into Manhattan and figure out a new path forward. And she does not care how Stefano feels about it. Back to Unique, Parissa, and his son Jerome, and this right here is the moment that I believe saved Unique from making a terrible decision. In the last episode, Jerome did not give him the warm welcome he wanted, and that hurt Unique deep down. This time Jerome runs straight to him and wraps him up in a hug. Unique tells him, you do not know how bad I needed this. And he means every word of that. That hug is what pulled Unique back from staying in New York and chasing more trouble. Family hit different for him in that moment. Let's talk about Breeze and this dude Taz because Taz is becoming a real problem. He is jealous of Kanan, mad he was not allowed into the meeting with Breeze, Snaps, Pops, Kanan and Stefano. Breeze tells him to mind his business. This is the second time we have seen Taz get heated about being excluded, and he is the one who told Unique about that meeting in the first place. That is exactly how Unique found out. Then we get Detective Jukebox doing some digging, asking Marvin if he has learned anything new about who took out Lulu. Of course, Unique is the main name on everybody's mind. Jukebox already knows Unique and Rock had something going on, and she is wondering if Rock might be holding back information. Marvin feels stuck, like there is nothing he can do about it. But this tells us Jukebox is locked in on every detail, getting closer to uncovering bigger secrets, like Rock being pregnant with Unique's child. Jukebox is going to end up connecting all these dots because Kanan sure is not figuring it out on his own. Now Rock is out here grinding, trying to build her new connections in Manhattan. She is asking around, and that is how Flossy's name comes up. Rock meets with Pino, who runs the Manhattan side of things, and he is open to doing business, but she has to bring her own clientele. It is actually Keem who set this connection up for Rock, a big win for her. When Rock sits down with Flossy, there is mutual respect right away. Flossy sees Rock holding her own in a game dominated by men. Rock wants to use Flossy's girls to help move product, and Flossy has heard this pitch before from men trying to use her crew, and every time it ends with her killing them when they try to push her out. But because it is Rock, a woman, Flossy gives her a Real shot, as long as she gets a big cut on top of Pino's. Everything seems to be falling into place for Rock right now. But come on, y'all already know how this goes. Every time Rock partners up with somebody, it turns into a war eventually, and it is only a matter of time before this Manhattan plan blows up in her face. Now we get the big sit-down between Stefano, Snaps, Pops, Breeze, and Kanan, officially Breeze meeting Stefano for the first time. Stefano makes it clear he still wants in, but he does not want to be out in the streets like before. He just wants his cut and to stay far away from the chaos. He is tired, done with the drama, and even tells Snaps and Pops that if they lose territory in a war, he will gladly do business with whoever takes their spot. He is not loyal to anybody, just loyal to the money. Breeze already knows Unique was working with Phil Russo, and he is not here for that. He makes it clear Unique has to go. Speaking of Unique, he finds out about that meeting and he is furious, asking Breeze why he was not invited, accusing them of trying to cut him out, and honestly, Unique is not wrong. He has been in this game a long time, and he is nobody's fool. Breeze tries to smooth things over, telling him he has nothing to worry about. But he also lets him know things are different now, that he is not the top dog anymore, that his soldiers are going to start looking elsewhere because he is struggling. Unique can read between the lines. He knows his time is limited, and he has to make his move before somebody makes a move on him first. Marvin and Shirley have a moment where she notices him packing up boxes and knows something is up. Marvin tells her him and Rock are buying out her shares of the club, taking full control. She asks why, and he says it is because Lou is not around to stop it. She reminds him Lou would never approve, and Marvin does not deny it. He just says it is not worth the bloodshed. Shirley decides to walk away, take the money, and ride off into the sunset. Then we see Breeze, Kanan, and the crew running their pill operation this season, and based on the trailers, something bad is coming from this. Kanan is hyped, telling his crew they are officially back in business. Right after, he runs into Unique, who tells him they need to stick together, that he does not trust Snaps, Pops, Breeze, or Stefano. Unique is warning him they are just using both of them to control their crews, keeping them around long enough that nobody panics when they eventually get taken out. Kanan does not want to hear it. Then Unique brings up Lulu, telling Kanan word on the street is that he is the one who put him down, but nobody is saying anything out loud. Kanan brushes it off, acting like it is just business. But Unique reads right through that, knowing if it was somebody Kanan really loved, he would not be acting this calm. So now Unique is wondering, did Marvin do it, did Rock do it, or did Kanan do it himself? That is exactly the moment Kanan realizes Unique knows too much. In Kanan's mind, this old head has become a liability, which is exactly why he was fully on board with trying to get Unique out of the picture by the end of the episode. Breeze confronts Taz, furious, asking why he told Unique about that secret meeting, since nobody outside that room should have known about it. Taz tries to defend himself, but Breeze is not hearing it. He warns Taz he is slipping, which sounds like a sign that something bad is coming his way too. Unique has one last real conversation with Akbar, who is heading back to New Jersey to lay low. Unique admits he does not know how to just run from his problems, but Akbar tells him maybe it is not about running away from something, maybe it is about running towards something better instead. that hits different for Unique, and it plants the idea in his head that he could start over somewhere new with his family. Meanwhile, Detective Garcia brings Aisha in for questioning, warning her about Jukebox's family being tied to murders, drugs, and illegal activity. Aisha does not give him anything. Garcia tells her to stay far away from Jukebox for her own safety. Later, Aisha goes straight to Jukebox and tells her everything. Surprisingly, Jukebox tells her maybe staying away really would be safer, brushing her off coldly, not because she does not care, but because she is fed up with law enforcement breathing down her neck. We see how serious that frustration is when Jukebox shows up at Garcia's home and sees him with his pregnant wife. That family moment is probably the only thing that saves him, because Jukebox does not care that he is law enforcement. She has military background, she has already taken a life before, and with her uncle Lulu freshly gone, she is on edge right now. Marvin, meanwhile, is paying off guys on the block trying to track down Unique's location. They point him toward a spot called a bar. Marvin heads there and finally catches up with Akbar, who laughs at first, not believing Marvin would really come looking. But Marvin is dead serious, taking people out one by one until Akbar is on the ground crying, and right before he dies, he gives up Unique's location. Just like that, we are officially smoking on that Akbar pack too. By the time Breeze and Kanan make their move to catch Unique slipping, he is already one step ahead of them. He refuses to be caught off guard, and when Marvin tracks down the location where Unique was supposed to be with Parisa and his son, they find the table still warm, plates left behind from a meal finished right before hitting the road. Marvin's face says it all, this man is slippery, and he got away clean. The episode closes out with a powerful moment from Unique reflecting on how when you first get pulled into this lifestyle, you believe you are different, you believe you are going to be the exception. But the hardest thing for anybody in this game to ever do is actually walk away from it, because stepping away from the streets can feel like stepping away from yourself. Somehow, Unique manages to do exactly that. He chooses his family over the game, and that says a lot about him. So now the real question is whether this is truly the end for Unique's story on raising Kanan, or if there is a chance he resurfaces somewhere else in the Power universe down the line. Either way, this episode set up so much for what is coming next, and with only a handful of episodes left this season, things are about to get even more intense from here.